Hello, my legal eagles. Welcome to TechnoCat, and we're in for Law and Disorder, the Data Privacy Edition. So welcome to TechnoCat's Law and Disorder, where we explore legal issues affecting all of our lives with a cheeky and occasionally cat reference-filled video. Today we're discussing that wily beast, data privacy. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so I have incentive to keep making all this awesome content. So with more personal information being collected and stored online, it's truly important to understand the laws, regulation, global geopolitical context around the regulations that protect our privacy. There's a veritable alphabet soup when it comes to data privacy regulations today, from GDPR to CCPA, HIPAA to the Children's Online Privacy Act, COPPA. They're popping up all the time. Not to mention PCI DSS and the upcoming California Privacy Rights Act, which is like on steroids. So while the regulations pack a punch, in general GDPR and CCPA are the GOATs, if you will, the greatest of all time. GDPR is a European regulation designed to protect EU citizens' data privacy. Companies that deal with EU citizen data must be GDPR compliant or face big consequences. Basically, it comes down to your data, your rules, having clear consent when it comes to your data, transparency on how your data is used, security of the data, and there are a lot of sticks in terms of fines, from anywhere to $20 million or 4% of a company's global turnover, whichever is bigger. And privacy regulations aren't just for Europe. The US is entering the chat. Game on. The biggest one has been CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act. The law was enacted in 2018 and gives California consumers more control over how their data is collected, preserved, and used. CCPA requires that businesses with personal information be transparent about what data is being collected and how it be used. They must provide consumers with certain notices and disclosures as it relates to their data. It breaks down to a right to know about what's collected about you, a right to be forgotten from the internet, the ability to opt out of having your data sold, transparency around data collection, and notices and disclosures about how your data is being used. CCPA fines may not seem that big. They range from $2,500 to $7,500 per violation, double ouch. But when you add them up, they can quickly become massive. Sephora recently settled for over $1.2 million for a CCPA fine. There's also a new kid on the block when it comes to California privacy as of 2023. California Privacy Rights Act, CPRA. CCPRA is basically CCPA on steroids, like supercharged. There's a new enforcement agency, more consumer rights, bigger fines, and oh my goodness, that's just the beginning. So the generative AI revolution raises some big privacy questions when you think of these regulations. Generative AI creates new content, but where does the data come from, and who owns the output, and whose rights need to be protected? All great questions we should be asking. Without proper consent and data security measures, generative AI could collect and misuse personal data of the people generating prompts, and businesses need to ensure that they are complying with both GDPR and CCPA when using generative AI. Generative AI can be used to do things like create a deepfake and other manipulative content, which would be a violation of GDPR and CCPA. Nice try, AI, but we're on to you. Additionally, e-discovery has some privacy implications you may not have thought of yet. When dealing with e-discovery, you're dealing with a massive amount of personal information. You've got to keep track of the data to avoid producing information you shouldn't or potentially having it exfiltrated by a bad actor. You've got to use the right technology. Don't ask for more data than you need. Defensively delete and collaborate with experts, teamwork, FTW, to ensure that you're mitigating privacy risk. You should familiar yourself with the laws and regulations domestically and internationally to understand your rights and obligation when it comes to PII. Be careful about what information you share online. It can be collected and used against you. Work with companies that take data privacy seriously to mitigate your risk. Thanks for watching Law and Disorder, a quick and cheeky privacy edition. This has been your friendly neighborhood techno cat. Be sure to like, subscribe.